Hello everybody, and you're very welcome to the launch event of our new photography exhibition, Eyes on Ethiopia. Thank you all very much for taking the time this evening to join us for what we believe is really exciting. And we've got some fantastic photographs to show you from over the years of the very many times that we have gone to Ethiopia for the Great Ethiopian Run. I know many of you will have attended that event, but many of you might be new to Orbis. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Diane Weatherup, and I'm the Development Director at Orbis in Ireland. And I'd like to introduce you to my colleague Claire O'Dea, who's the Vice Chair of Orbis Ireland.
Thank you, Diane. Hi, everyone. As Diane mentioned, you're all very welcome this evening. We have some amazing photographs in store for you. And for those of you that have been, they will bring back wonderful memories. And for anybody that is new to Orbis, hopefully they may entice you to come with us at some stage to see this beautiful country. Just before we go into the exhibition, I would like just to bring us all back to why we're here and what the purpose of Orbis is. So currently, globally, there are just under 8 billion people in the world, and 2.2 billion people suffer from low vision, visual impairment, or blindness. Staggeringly, around 1 billion of these, which is just over 12% of the world's population, actually suffer needlessly. In other words, they suffer from conditions that are actually treatable and preventable. And most of these people live in the developing world. Ethiopia itself has one of the highest prevalences of low vision and blindness in the world. And 20 years ago, Orbis set up a grand project in Ethiopia to tackle this problem. A couple of days ago, I managed to catch up with our country director in Ethiopia. His name is Dr. Alamayu Sise. And I had a chat with him, just an update on how things are working in Ethiopia at the moment, how the team are getting on the ground, and also to understand from him what the impact of COVID-19 has been on Ethiopia and also on the Orbis project there. Hi, Alamayu. It's wonderful to be talking with you today. Many of our supporters have been fortunate enough to travel to Ethiopia with us and to meet you in person. But for those who don't know you, can you please take a moment to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Claire. I'm Alamayu Sisai, an ophthalmologist and a public health expert. I'm currently the country director for Orbis International Ethiopia, and I have been with Orbis for the last now 18 years.
The whole world has been impacted by COVID-19. Alamayu, can you take a moment to tell us about the impact and the restrictions in Ethiopia?
As you know, the government has put a strict state of emergency in place for the first 6 months since March, and that has limited a lot of program implementation, travels, and so on. That is in an attempt to reduce transmission and control the pandemic.
And has Ethiopia started the vaccination program yet?
So the vaccine program, it has a limited number of doses for the entire population. So you can see that only 1.5 million people have been vaccinated so far, but the government is expanding its program to zonal level, district level, and in some areas to Kabbales as well.
Alamayu, in relation to Orbis's work then, obviously restrictions were implemented last year in March of 2020 that would have halted Orbis's work. What has the impact of that been, and also the impact of that on those people who were at risk of immediate blindness at the time?
I think that's a very important question. Whatever we do, our existence is to help, these communities to save sight. And when the state of emergency was declared by the government back in March, that significantly limits our service provision, particularly in the rural community. And the reason I am saying this is because most of our work have been delivered through outreach programs, outreach cataract program, outreach trichiasis surgical program. We go to schools for screening, mass screening of students for refractive error. That has been significantly affected. But we didn't sit quietly. We work with the ministry in terms of developing guidelines, protocols. How can we reach those communities despite the COVID pandemic? Can we put a protocol that ensure safety for our staff, for partners, and for the community as well. So we developed a guideline for trainings, for outreach purposes, and for tear surgical service providers. And if we strictly adhere to those protocols, the chance of being infected with COVID is very low. One thing I would like to emphasize is that the mass drug administration that we are introducing on annual basis for endemic districts, interruption of one round will have a significant consequence. We are treating millions through MDA, millions. And if we interrupt one round of MDA, the implication is profound. We ensured that all the MDA schedule in 2020 has been done successfully without a single incident. And above all, we provided the PPEs required for that, for Orbis employee, for partners, and for communities as well, receiving the treatment. That's significant. So I'm so happy that despite the challenging situation, we have developed protocols for TT surgery, for MDA, for outreach, for cataract.
Thanks, Alamayu. That sounds absolutely fantastic. Okay, so if you hadn't adapted in the way that you have explained, Alamayu, what would the implications be for the people in the rural communities?
That would be devastating, Claire, I would say, because trachoma is an infectious process. So we have to interrupt that infectious process timely. So by not conducting MDA timely, we are enhancing the cycle of infection and reinfection within communities and with its own consequence. That means it will take a protracted time to eliminate trachoma, and in the process, people may get blind from it. So that's why we have to strictly adhere to the WHO recommendation and guidelines. And also, that's why we developed the COVID protocols and guidelines, adhering to the WHO principles and so on. Yeah.
Alamayu, can you just explain to us the implications for a child that goes blind in Ethiopia, particularly in the rural communities?
Thank you, Claire. That's a tough question and also a strategic question. So far, what we have been doing in rural communities is preventing blindness, both in children and in adults. So for a kid being blind, the chance of getting the proper education is very low. The life expectancy will be reduced because as a kid, we want to explore our environment. These blind kids, they don't move. They are immobile. So that will have a life expectancy consequence. Most of the blind kids will die early for a lot of reasons. In terms of providing education, I think the government has selected school for the blind, but considering the big need, that's not adequate. But I would emphasize that our mission and vision focus on treating and preventing avoidable blindness. By doing so, we significantly lower the blindness pool of both adults and children.
Okay, and in relation to trachoma and COVID-19, the messaging around both is quite similar. Can you explain how you worked with local government agencies to spread the message of safety and sanitation?
COVID, by its nature, is transmission through contacts, exactly the same way trachoma did. Contacts. The contact may be families, friends, workplace, and so on, fomites. The good thing about us as development partners, we are working at community level. So all the health extension workers in the rural communities have been trained on eye care. And on top of that, the government has provided a lot of information about COVID. These are the frontline health workers. And the significant majority of the community has got contact with these health extension workers. When you say about COVID, people will, they just become anxious. And we have to capitalize on that when we inform about the importance of hand washing. So in the rural community where we use, local FM radios, we leverage the messaging. and say, if you properly wash your hand and face and environmental sanitation, you'll be prevented from both trachoma and COVID.
Okay, Alamayu, thank you so much for speaking to us today, because I know you're incredibly busy and obviously you have a huge amount of work to continue with there. So I just want to say a huge thank you for having a conversation with us today, and take care and best of luck.
Thank you so much, Claire, and it's a pleasure for me to provide you all the information we have in Ethiopia, and I hope the situation both in Ireland and Ethiopia will be improved in the coming months and years, and we can start our regular face-to-face meeting, field visit experience, and so on. So thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
We look forward to being able to go to Ethiopia again to see you too, hopefully.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, Claire, that was really good. It was great to hear from Alamayu. It must have been lovely to have that chat.
It was lovely. Obviously, we haven't been able to get to Ethiopia since November 2019. So yeah, it was really nice to catch up with them and obviously understand the work that they're doing on the ground and the incredible switches that they had to make to continue and adapt, but they have done, which is just fantastic.
Yeah, it really is. And they have done so much, especially with COVID and everything that's going on. And it's amazing that their resources are much limited to ours, but yet the success is phenomenal, really. And being able to have the infrastructure in place to adapt is a credit to them all, really.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. I agree. And also to be able to distribute all the antibiotics last year, which is just fantastic.
Yeah, door to door, which isn't an easy feat. Yeah.
No, definitely not in the communities that we know.
Yes, exactly. Well, we'll move on then to why we're all here this evening, and that's to show you some of the images that have been taken during our trips to the Great Ethiopian Run. So over the years, almost 300 people have joined Orbis for the Great Ethiopian Run, many of which have attended numerous times and have enjoyed trips down south and all across Ethiopia. So they are well versed in travel to Ethiopia. But I have to say that it, for many years, is and was the highlight of my year. And I've always loved going to Ethiopia, not just for the run, but just when I go for any project visit, just to see the people and visit just what is a beautiful country. So it's very exciting to be able to show these photographs from our very select few professional photographers that have joined us over the years.
Yeah, absolutely, Diane, I agree. So Diane, if you want to set up the photographic exhibition, I will just take a few minutes to introduce the photographers. We've been so lucky over the years to have some amazing photographers and cinematographers with us, traveling to Ethiopia, coming down south to showcase the work that is being done by Orbis, but also to take just wonderful photographs of the scenery and the amazing people. So we have 6 photographers who've been with us over the years. We have Mel McLean has been about 5 or 6 times with us. We've also had Paddy Jordan, Tom Byrne, Sean Breithupt, and Yvette Monaghan. They've been all a couple of times themselves. And then in 2019, we had Jenny Barker. She came with us for the first time then. So I will hand over now to Diane for the photo exhibition.
So Orbis have created this Eyes on Ethiopia photography exhibition, which is a collection of images from various trips to Ethiopia over the years. We will share the link, and it is pretty simple to use. It's a virtual 3D experience. So you enter the exhibition, and there's even a little how-to button at the side here to show you how it all works. It starts with the journey, which is a little background information about our trip to Ethiopia every year. To work through the exhibition, you press next and previous to scroll through the various images. The exhibition starts with a number of photographs of the Great Ethiopian Run. This one here shows the vast numbers at the starting line. Next, the exhibition covers Orbis and our work. There are a variety of photos showing the beneficiaries and those who have been trained by Orbis to help the communities. We have been lucky enough to be joined over the years by a variety of professional photographers. Each one of them have captured the Great Ethiopian Run and the work of Orbis. Through clicking the list of works icon, you can scroll through and see the different images and the different photographers. The photographer who has joined us more than any other, I think it's 4 or 5 times he has travelled to Ethiopia with Orbis, is Mel McLean. I'm delighted that Mel can join me to have a quick chat about Orbis and his trips to Ethiopia. Hi Mel, you're very welcome.
Thank you, Diane.
It's great to have you here this evening, and it's great, of course, to show your fantastic photographs. So just could you give us a brief outline of how you got involved with Orbis?
I got involved with Orbis back in 2012, I think. The reason being your good self. Whenever you moved back from London, you and I have known each other for years, traveled through Australia, and yeah, we had a chat, and you kindly invited me to Ethiopia, and I'm very grateful that I went and have continued to keep going ever since.
Well, I'm very grateful that you came, because we've captured some great photographs over the years.
Thank you.
Would you be able to run through a few of your favorite photographs from your different trips?
Yeah. One of my favorites was actually taken in 2018, I think. It was the first year that the tram had been built. And actually there's a bridge at the back of the square where the race kicks off from. Every other year beforehand, we're just down at ground level. You can't get a true perspective of how big it is. And everybody always asks me, says, what's it like? And I'm like, there's 40,000 people running through the city at the same time, and it's pretty chaotic. And finally this year, I'm at the very back, and it just looks like a river. Just a river running through the city. Everybody's wearing the same coloured t-shirts, and it shows how immense it actually is. So it was great to get that perspective of it.
And do any others spring to mind?
Yeah, it's always a highlight going to the schools. And whenever you go, anybody that's ever been, they know what it's like. You get out of the Jeep and the kids just swarm around you, and it's all these happy faces for the duration you're there. And I always try and sort of get away to the side when stuff's going on, and try and get a couple of portrait shots of kids, but rarely does it happen because somebody or a few more kids always come along. But I think this picture shows what happens. You have one happy, smiley kid, and then the rest of them just swarm on top. And I think it just sums it up. The happiness, they're living in very different lives to ourselves, but they're just kids, and they're just very happy kids, and they're great. We love to see them, and they obviously love to see us. But it's just, I think this just sums it up. They're all doing great. They're all having fun, just like a normal kid is, and hopefully this shows what it's like.
Yeah, it absolutely does, and it just shows that it's just the basic eye care, like we all deserve, just that simple eye care, and you can have a happy childhood, like everyone deserves.
Totally.
So what about the highlights from the trip? Have you any?
Yeah. The race is always good because it's chaotic, and it's always good to see everybody the night before getting stressed out about it, having a couple of St. George and then wondering how many to have. But no, it's some people take it seriously. Some people have it treated more like a fun run, which I would certainly treat it as. That's always good, but I think the highlights always going down south to see the projects. Always going to the schools, a massive highlight. But in the 8 years, whatever I've been going, the big highlight for me is seeing the change each year I go back. From the first year, it wasn't really an issue trying to find somebody that had trachoma and try and take an image of that. But every year I've gone back, it's more and more difficult seeing somebody that actually has trachoma. and that is actually something that it's showing that all the fundraising that goes on, all the money that's raised, all the hard work going on by the Orbis people on the ground in Ethiopia, it's all paying dividends. So the fact that I'm finding it very difficult to see anybody that has it is the biggest highlight for me. You don't see it anymore. So that's the main thing, and that's the main thing for everybody going. But yeah, that's it. And just always love going back to Ethiopia. Ethiopia and Africa itself just gets under your skin. And it's a great joy when you arrive to the city and to the country again.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you'll be pleased to hear, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but Orbis Ethiopia successfully administered all the antibiotics that we scheduled for 2020. So even in the pandemic, they still managed to administer 1 million antibiotics to those in the area. Yeah, it's fantastic. So you're absolutely right. And not being able to achieve that 1 year would set us back, So it is a huge achievement, and it's refreshing and great to hear that people like yourself notice that year on year when you go back, because so many people don't get to experience that. So it shows the impact. So so it's been great to chat to you. I hope you enjoyed seeing your images that maybe you haven't seen for a while.
I haven't seen them for a while, but no, it's always a pleasure to go. It's always a nice group that you meet, and lovely subjects to take. So hopefully we all get back sooner rather than later.
Yes, hope so. We'll be back next year.
Indeed. Good stuff.
Thanks, Mel. We'll chat again soon. Take care.
Good luck. Good luck, everybody. Bye bye.
It was great to see Mel again, and see those photos. And I think it doesn't matter how many times I've looked at them, they always do bring a smile to my face anyway. So it's great.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree. I agree. The photo of the children is just fantastic, isn't it? The little boy without his 2 front teeth.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And what about you, Claire? Do you have any favorites?
I have some favorites. Yeah. So it's really difficult because all of the photographs are incredible, and they all bring back different emotions when, obviously when you've been there a few times, and even if you haven't actually just seen the photos anyway, I think. So if I can pick out a few, my first one would be the photo in the exhibition by Tom Byrne, which is a photo at the starting line. I think it was taken in 2012, the starting line of the Great Ethiopian Run. It's a crowd photo, and you can just see a sea of people, and in amongst the sea of people, you can see these white arms in the air, and one of those white arms is mine. Not sure which one, but I remember that moment, and obviously the excitement at the start of the race. So I love that photo. Another one is a lovely photo by Jenny Barker. It's the one of the 3 ladies, the 3 women sitting on the bench. I love this photo because, first of all, I think the pink scarf that the lady has is just fabulous. But also, clearly, the lady in the center there has difficulty with her eyesight, and hopefully that's. I wasn't there that day, but hopefully that's why they were at the clinic. But it's wonderful to see these faces because they just tell such an amazing story of experience and life, and we know, having met people like these ladies, that the people in Ethiopia are just so welcoming and so always so happy to meet you. And then the last one that I loved was one of Mel's, actually. It's called Water. It's the one where yes, that's it. Yes, she's having a shower. I absolutely love that photo. I love the colors in the photo. I love the fact that you can see all the droplets. And I love it because for me, it's fresh and new. And I suppose it kind of suggests renewal and life. And I just think it's a fabulous photo. So
it really is. That's a gorgeous one. And that was just taken, it was by Mel, and it was taken one day when we actually went to visit somebody who received trachoma surgery a couple of days before, and we walked probably 2.5 hours to get to this woman's house, and we met this lady having a bath or a shower on the way, and she kindly said we could take a quick photograph. But it just showed to us when we did that journey, which was so long, and the 2 days before somebody else had done it, just after having a surgery. So through that terrain as well is tough.
Yeah, I think that's difficult to understand when you can understand it from some of the photographs, and that's what the value of the photos, that the terrain is so difficult, as you said.
Yeah.
And what about you, Diane? What about your favorites?
So many. And I think that one of my favorites, you mentioned there, the faces, and I totally agree. And Paddy Jordan's taken a photo here of an elderly man, and it's just so full of character. I just love it. And the black and white just makes it really stand out, and the close up, it's a fabulous photo. I love it.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's incredible.
Yeah,
he tells such a story with his face, doesn't he?
He really does, yeah. And I don't know, Paddy obviously is a videographer, cinematographer, should I say. And so he's taken most of the videos that we've captured out there. But, obviously he picks up a still photo camera every now and again, and he captures things like this, which are just amazing. And just on that, I just know that I should probably say that Paddy's favourite is this one, which I do love as well. The little boy at the front, who's obviously got dressed for school in his smart jacket, is very impressive.
I remember that.
Yeah. I enjoy that a lot as well.
Yeah,
and then Sean has taken a picture here, which is of Arbor Minch, and I always find that when you look at this, that you don't believe that it's real, and then you see the blues and everything, and because I've been there, I know that it is, and it is that spectacular. So it just reminds me of being there, really, and sitting in the lodge where we stay and looking out at that after the day, and of going to the projects and seeing everything, and it's fabulous.
I would agree, Diane. To me, that looks heavenly, and we both know that there's a photo there of two lakes. There's a lake in the distance as well, and the piece of land between them is called Heaven's Gate, and it really is heavenly when you're there. Photo.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's just too many though, but I suppose those are the ones that speak to me, and the ones that you've mentioned I love equally as much. But I don't think that we can forget about our participants in the Great Ethiopian Run and some of the amazing images that they've taken over the years. And we actually ran a competition, and we asked for people to submit their favourite photographs, which we have got some finalists. And
fantastic.
Yes. So we have 3 finalists. Pardon?
The big reveal.
Yeah, the big reveal. So we're going to run a competition between the 3 finalists, and the 3 finalists, we will have a poll where you can vote for your favourite photos. So the list again is here. So the big reveal indeed. Our first finalist, I'm delighted to say, is Fergus O'Callaghan. And he took this picture, which I have named Huts, of a mother and child, or a sister and child. And I just love the colours in it. Again, it just comes back to how colourful everything is. But I thought that was beautiful. And I think that a lot of these pictures just capture daily life. It's just life. It's just so simple. And a lot of, what we all do day to day. He has got another photo, which is also a finalist.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, they're very impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of his photos. Sorry, Dan. Both of his photos are amazing, and as you say, they capture daily life down in southern Ethiopia. Yeah, exactly. Our second finalist is Ross Culligan, and this is his picture of the 4 boys. I'm always taken by this photo. I love it. I think it's just because it's just 4 lads. I have a son who's a similar age, and he sits around with his mates a bit like this, up to mischief. Exactly.
It's a great picture.
You can see the mischief in their faces, and I agree with you with the boys. I have two of my own that are older than this now, but yeah, it's fantastic. And they're just little boys hanging out, as you say. They could be anywhere in the world.
Exactly.
Great.
Ross's second photograph is this dapper man here, which I think he just tells the story, doesn't he? He's just owning the picture. I don't know if this is the credit to Ross for being a great photographer or the man for being a great sitter, but it's
he just looks like such an important man, and he's very proud. It's a fabulous photo, and all of the children in the background make it as well, because they're all watching him. They're watching how he's behaving.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's fabulous.
I know. And last but certainly not least, our final two photographs are from Louise Mccourt. Louise has travelled to Ethiopia many times, probably as many as I have, and has done significant fundraising for Orbis. And she took this of two women on a pretty steep hill, if we look at it closely. But it's again, they're just capturing life, aren't they?
Mm-hmm, absolutely, yeah, catching up, as you said there. Yeah, it's fabulous. It's a wonderful, and the colours are amazing. And that's one of the things I know we've already said, but the colours in Ethiopia are just incredible. It's lovely to see the two women probably catching up on a morning stroll on their way to work.
Yeah, absolutely. And her final photo is a photo of our boat trip. So this is a boat trip that we do. It's our touristy thing that we do in southern Ethiopia, and we go and see crocodiles and hippos. I don't know if we saw any that day, but we saw two birds anyway. So it's lovely.
That's a great photo as well.
Very beautiful. Yeah. So those are our 6 finalist photos and our 3 finalists. And at the end, you will be able to vote for your favorite photo. And at the end of the exhibition, which is on the 8th of July, we will announce the winner, and the winner will be able to return to Ethiopia with us for the next time we attend the Great Ethiopian Run.
Fantastic.
Very
exciting. That's brilliant. Yeah.
Yes, congratulations. I know that Louise is on the call, but if the others are on the call too, congratulations to you.
Congratulations, guys. Congratulations, Louise.
Yes, indeed. The one thing that obviously I would just finally like to say is the fact that you can purchase any of these photos. So we have a little shop that we have created, and if you just click at the bottom right hand corner of any of those photos, you will be taken to the shop, and this is what it looks like on the front cover. And you open it, and all of the photographs are here, and you can just add whichever one you want. And we have a variety of prints, either just a regular print or a mounted print. And you can also get a mounted and framed print of also different sizes. So you just click through. Everybody knows how to online shop at this stage, and then it creates your picture for you, and you just add to cart. So an important part for us, I suppose, at this stage, that all these images are for sale.
Well done, Diane.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, that was fantastic. The photos look amazing. So as Diane said, I suppose we're really coming to the end, and we just want to thank you all sincerely for taking the time to join us this evening. We, as Diane mentioned there, you can purchase any of the photos for yourselves or for any friends, or Diane will also send a link in the chat to donate if you'd like to support our work. So many of you have supported us over the years, and you will know that the Great Ethiopian Run is one of our biggest fundraisers. Unfortunately, because we haven't been able to travel to Ethiopia either last year or this year, we're finding it difficult, like all other charities, to fundraise. So we would really appreciate any support that you can give us at this stage. Also, for anybody that's been to Ethiopia before and would like to return, we'd love to see you when we can go back. And anybody who's new here on the call who'd like to join us, we'd love to see you then. So thanks so much, everybody. Huge thanks to our amazing photographers, Mel and Patty and Tom, Sean, Yvette and Jenny. And also to our congratulations to the 3 finalists. Louise and Fergus and Ross. You've done us proud in showing the work that Orbis does in Ethiopia so well, and also showing the culture of the people. That really is a tribute to the work that you have done. So thank you so much for all of that.
Thank you, everybody. We'll send the link to the exhibition shortly.
Okay, thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you. Goodbye.